So much. I also want to thank Shorty on the piano. You don't see him there, he's so short. And the rest of the band was in behind here. Anyway, Michael, that was just amazing. Thank you so much. What I'm going to share with you is a little bit after I finished university. And instead of taking my life, I jumped on my bicycle before people were riding across North America. 1970. The time of the Vietnam War, racial riots, the hippie movement, and I was this young hippie guy at phys ed at school, and yet very afraid of everything. I was the kind of guy that would only go to a movie with somebody, so everybody thought I had friends. I was afraid to do things alone. So a lot of people think I was this rugged outdoor kind of guy, but I was a receiver in football, and those are guys running away from violence. So I was a fast runner. And so this is me in 1970. This picture was actually taken in Louisiana, and I had a backpack on my back that said Canada, which was a mistake because they thought I was a draft dodger heading to Canada. So and I was just this naive Canadian. I went to school in West End where everybody in my class was white, and we just did a Kindness Rocks show in Surrey and in Richmond, reached 5,000 kids, and with this rock concert that we do to prevent bullying, and everybody was different nationality. It was unbelievable. It was beautiful, and they were all friends of each other. This is where I ended up going. I started in Vancouver, went across the northern states, and being a really smart guy and everything, I saw that there wasn't any further to go, so I headed south, and that was easy. It was all downhill. And then I went through the southern states and through Mississippi, which you didn't want to do in 1970, really look like me. And so they actually had me in at jails, and they were stripping my bags and everything, leaving it out. And I would say, well, don't you know that when people smoke marijuana, that it makes them really lazy? So how could I be doing this? So it was very confusing to them. So they were looking for the motor and everything. And just by the way, because I have no judgments on anybody else, I've been clean and sober now for 40 years. So I'm very happy. Anyways, I went to the southern states, and I'll just tell you one little story from this. Here, I'll go back for 1 sec. I decided to go into Mexico, and they had never seen somebody in a bicycle, and I ended up in this big show in Mexico City, and it was like the Johnny Carson show or the Jay Leno show or that kind of show. So everybody in Mexico saw this show, and I was saying on the show that I'm so unmechanical, I can't even change a flat tire. I really can't. You wouldn't believe how unmechanical I am. And but I was so proud because in Mexico City I changed my brake pads, because most of the time you're out in the middle of nowhere, you don't use your brakes. So I changed my brake pads. But Mexico City's in a valley, and then you had to climb this huge mountain to get out of Mexico City. And all these tour buses are going by and cheering me on and everything, and all the Mexican people were standing on the street cheering me on. And then you get to the top of the hill, and the fun part's going down the other side, right? But down in Mexico, they had really narrow roads at that time, and they put these little potholes all over the place. I don't know why they did that, but they had these potholes all over the place. And I was flying down the other side, probably like 50 or 60 miles an hour. And finally, I get to this little town, and all these people are cheering me on, and they're all going, "Hola, hola, hola." And I put on my brakes, and I put the brake pads in the wrong way, and they both popped out. So now I had a little bit of a problem. And so I thought to myself, wow, there's a nice looking bush over there. And that was a quick thank you to that time. And so I went into this bush, and I was lying there half dead, and I guess they were probably saying in Spanish, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm just taking a little rest here for a second." And I think to this very day, they think Canadians stop by running into bushes. And we hadn't invented brake pads. So anyways, that was, and so there's so many stories like that every day. I was out in the middle of nowhere, but people, it was a people trip. It didn't matter what color, style, or age. I met every different kind of people, and that was what was so fantastic. And by the way, my parents were going to disown me, or they did disown me in a way. They said, if you do this bike trip, don't come back home. But my one promise to them was that every Sunday night, or Sunday morning at 9 in the morning, I'd phone them to let them know I was still alive. And it was quite amazing, because after I phoned, my dad would go up to the Capilano Golf Club, and he'd take the map of my trip. He was following the trip, and he'd pull it out in front of all his friends, and he was so proud. But my mom and dad could never show that. Even for their dying days, they were married 62 years. My mom was so sensitive. She was like Edith Bunker, that kind of person. She was just so sensitive. I knew the moment she closed the door when I left all the time, she'd be crying, but she'd never show that. And I needed that as a young guy. I needed those feelings and stuff. So that led to lots of little challenges. And there's me again. That's actually Ben Lionsgate Bridge in the background. After I got back, that was in the Sun newspaper. I want to introduce my friend Ranj Singh, who's just so special. And